thank you for letting us come up today. I've enjoyed this dinner very well, meeting a bunch of y'all people and seeing new faces. My name is Bubba Doris. I'm running for Robertson County Mayor. I've been a commissioner for 16 years now this year. On the other side, I've been a firefighter for the city of Springfield 28 years now, and a commissioner 16. On my days off, I like to teach firefighting and EMS if anybody wants to become one. So I'll be glad to take applications after this. But on the other hand, on the serious matter that they're talking about, we all want the same thing. I've listened to every one of them come up here and say the same stuff, different, maybe a few different words. But I like numbers, and I like to track your dollar down. That's what I like to do. That's my best choice. That's the best part about me, is I want to track your dollar down and see where it goes, because it's your dollar and my dollar, and that's where I want to see it spent the best of it can be spent. I don't see buying nonsense. We don't have to buy nonsense. I just assume to buy what we got to have and move on, keep our county best. My education, like I say, I didn't have time to go to college. My colleging was in the fire and EMS department, so that's where I got all my education from. So everybody else was going to college, I was going to that college. So with that being said, I'm done.
Sure. My name is John Edwards. I'm the mayor of Cedar Hill, which is the biggest city in Robertson County. We're a population of 300. We're a metropolis. So I'm running for Robertson County mayor because I'm representing people. I come from this area. This is my part of the county. I was born in Springfield and attended East Robertson and graduated from there and went on to college and graduated with a business degree. And so Thomas Jefferson has a quote, and it's one of my favorite quotes I like. And so he says, government that is best works for the people. So government that is closest to the people works best. And that's what I want to do as a county mayor. I want to be close to the people on all of the issues. People and responsible growth, that's my biggest things that I'm running on. As far as people, representing you, the vision, values, and the voices of Robertson County, that's the most important thing to me. That's what I've done at Cedar Hill, and that's what I will do as county mayor. I want to carry your vision, your voice, and your values in everything that we do, from every office to every department to every meeting that we have in the state and the region. I'm here to work for you, and that's exactly what I've done as Cedar Hill mayor, and that's what I will do for as county mayor. Responsible growth, that's my hugest thing. I'm kind of known for the responsible growth taunt, and I believe in responsible growth. I believe in holding developers accountable for improving infrastructure. I don't feel that it's good to pass that on to taxpayers. I believe in ensuring that we are growing responsibly. I believe in ensuring that we're trying to preserve as much farmland as possible. That's important to me. I mean, you look at just rural fire protection. 10 years ago, a home would burn down to about 17 minutes. Now, it takes about 3 to 5 minutes. We've got to invest in our rural fire protection. We've got to hold developers accountable. We've got to improve our infrastructure. That's something I've pushed for a long time, as I've been on News Channel 5 several times. I've went before a state regulatory board and spoke on wastewater. It's something that I'm passionate about, and I'll take that same passion and focus to work for you in the state. Thank you.
My name is Keith Hoover. I'm a 49-year resident of White House. My wife, Erica Hoover, is a biostem teacher at White House Heritage High School, also graduated from White House High School. Our daughter, Emma, is a junior at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and she graduated from White House Heritage High School. I ran for commission back in 2006 because I wanted to get White House Heritage High School built. And the high school students was going to school in the school that I went K through 4 through. So I felt like they deserved something better. And within about 4 years, we had that done. By 2010, it was time to run again. I decided I wasn't going to run. I got what I wanted accomplished, and I left. We had a capable Don Eden that took my place, and I knew Robertson County was in great hands at the time. So when 2014 came along, Billy Ray came to me and said, would you consider running again? And I thought, well, if you can't find anybody else, I'll do it. Well, they never looked for anybody else, I don't think, because here I am today. Fast forward to 2015, I was elected by my peers to be Budget Committee Chairman. And in those 7 years, we increased funding to schools. We increased funding for our solid waste facility. We totally redid it and streamlined it. We added funding for all SROs in every school. Just emergency communications, we did it all. So I would appreciate your vote May 5th. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now we'll go to the question portion, and just as a reminder, you have 1 minute for your response. And we'll go in reverse order this time, so Keith, you'll go first on this. This question is, how will you balance growth with preserving rural character? What policies will you support to ensure infrastructure keeps pace with population growth?
Well, we'll have to look at everything, but the first thing I can think of is impact fees and adequate facility tax to make sure that when growth does come, that it's paying for itself. And we're going to have to make sure that that's the case. Before development is approved, we've got to make sure the schools can handle it, the roads can handle it, and so can our emergency services. Is absolutely have to make sure of that. Thank you.
Okay, John?
Yes, sir. The 2040 growth plan is great, and it's a great blueprint for how we grow and develop. There's a little bit of nuances to it I would like to fix. I don't believe that high density and medium density belong in rural areas. I think that creates a fragmentation of land use out in the rural agricultural areas. I don't agree with necessarily 5-acre lots. American Farmland Trust determines that the biggest two impacts on agriculture are going to be large acre lots and they're going to be subdivisions. So we've got to get in between those two if we're going to fix the problem as far as preserving rural agriculture. Echoing kind of what Keith said, adequate facility taxes. We can increase them, I think, 10% every 4 years. If we increase them now based on the numbers from last year, we generate about $220,000 extra to put toward infrastructure. I would like to see, again, after 4 years, I'd like to see us bump that up again. And impact fees, exactly what Keith said. We need to make sure that we are putting the burden of growth onto the developers and not the general public. Thank you.
All right, go.
I will back up everything they say, plus I will say education. We need to educate. We got new commissioners coming on. We need to educate them on what it needs to be done as far as growth in our county. We're going to have several new commissioners in Robertson County this time. And if we allow them to keep building like they let them do in the past, then we ain't stopping nothing. So we got to educate them on what needs to be done for the county and just not let them come in and be a vote. That makes sense.
All right, second question. This time, John, you'll go first, and then Bubba, and then Keith. The county mayor is primarily an administrative and budgetary role, not a legislative one. What leadership strategies would you use to build consensus among county commissioners and the many local officials from all of these cities?
Yeah, so I'm the new face coming in, and some would point that out as maybe a negative. I'm coming in with a fresh perspective on everything. I'm not coming in with any biases, so I'm going to go department by department and talk to these folks and figure out what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right, and push for positive changes. Legislatively, again, I'm not a vote, but I can absolutely have a role in persuading and pushing that the people's voice is being heard in everything that we do. In Cedar Hill, we increased our assets by 45%. We've doubled our infrastructure. We've doubled our assets 45%. Our capital projects, we've improved those by about double. So we're doing well. That's something I'm not afraid of. I mean, it really comes back to common sense. Government, we spend less than what we make. So that's kind of the overall goal.
Eric, would you read the question again, please?
Sure. The county mayor is primarily an administrative and budgetary role, not a legislative one. What leadership strategies would you use to build consensus among county commissioners and the many local elected officials of all the cities?
Well, in my opinion, one thing that we need to do is everybody meet and not just have one-on-one with them. I think we need to have a meeting place where we can get them all in a room like this and hammer it out and figure out what needs to be done so everybody has a say in what goes on in the county. Making it just come from my side is just like one-sided. I want to hear from everybody, not just one side. I want to hear what everybody's got to say, what we can do to change it, fix it, be a part of the problem, or help fix the problem, if it makes sense. Thank you.
Well, I think leaders lead and followers follow. I've been budget chair for 7 years, and we would figure out ways. I can remember sitting $3 million out in a budget and having to find a way out of it. So I think being open-minded, listening to people is definitely a way that all communities can come together to work for a common goal, and that's to make Robertson County what it is today. Thank you.
Okay. All right, this question will go Bubba, Keith, and John. We know that each of you has served as an elected official. Aside from that service, tell us about your professional experience and what type of work you do, and how has your career prepared you for the role of county mayor?
As I mentioned earlier, I've been in the fire service and the government service for 28 years, and I was a volunteer for, since '96. I seen it on the far side. I feel like I've been on the inside looking out and being a commissioner on the outside looking in. So I feel that I've gotten to look at both sides of the box. And been married to Vicky for 43 years on the EMS side. It's helped push me along to make some of my mind up on what needs to be done. But I want it to be my side of it. I feel that I'm honest to people, and that's all I got to say. That's all I got to offer is honesty. And I'm not going to get here and promise you anything or nothing. So what I can say is I'll give it 100%, and that's it. That's all I got to offer is honesty.
My family business was retail grocery, and then it led into a little bit of real estate and a food service, a fast service. So all my life, or since I've been 20 years old, I've been able to read P&L statements, profit and loss statements, and I think that has benefited me in the county. So when I got to look at these budgets, which was a lot bigger than our family business, I still understood what it took to balance budget, or to make sure we had enough money to make payroll that week. So I feel like that gives me a leg up in this. Thank you.
And this is something I don't get to talk about very much, but I'm a business owner. I've spent the last 16 years, and I'm a contractor, and I work with the state, and we help people with disabilities find employment. So I've done for 16 years, and so what it allows me to do is I help one of the most vulnerable, underrepresented populations in our state achieve employment to where they can be successful in life, where they can have opportunities. And I think that transitions well into the way I lead and the way I represent my folks. Is I'm going to work myself to death to make sure that I'm putting folks in the position to succeed in Robertson County, where our children, including my children who go to local schools, can be successful when they grow up through a quality education and investing in them. And I think that's my biggest thing. I have a servant's heart, and I try to lead that way as well.
Okay, thank you. This question answered by Keith, John, and then Bubba. It's a lot of accounting up here. Keep track of making sure they get it in the right order. Roads and traffic continue to be a top concern for residents and businesses in White House. Most feel like TDOT has not kept up with their end of the deal when it comes to transportation infrastructure here, especially in regards to Highway 76. How would you work with the state to get much needed improvements going?
Well, I agree with their sentiment. You know, in 2017, the state passed that gas tax, and on the 10-year plan was to have Highway 76 widened all the way to the crossroads with a traffic light. Well, today we sit almost 10 years out, and we're not on that plan anymore. So I can guarantee that I will work with TDOT, our state rep Kumar, and Senator Roberts in making sure we get our place in line again, because I don't know how many accidents or deaths had to happen before we get to the front, but something has to be done.
Yes, Highway 76 at New Hall Road is a major issue. I was looking at it last night, and it's about $6 million, I think, to actually renovate that, to realign it out of traffic lights. So a couple of years ago, Mayor Corbett met with the legislatures. I think Mayor Vogel was there, representatives were there. And so TDOT, what their perspective was, is they needed for the increase to be about 4%. Well, as of 2025, there was an 8% increase on the total traffic through that intersection. You've got, I think it's Burris Ridge that's going to be developed soon. They haven't even built the house yet. So you're gonna contribute a lot more traffic to it, about 3,000 more residents, a little bit less than that. Springfield, you've got 5,000 potential units of traffic that's from residential units. So it needs to be on top of our priority, and I have a relationship with TDOT. I'm usually talk to them every other week. I've got a strong relationship with them, and we will absolutely get that done.
All I'm gonna do is once I get their number, I'm gonna call them every day. They'll finally get wise and get caller ID, but then I'll get a different number. So that's all I'm gonna ask, because, you know, TDOT, they're gonna do what they wanna do, and all we can do is keep asking. You know, Tom Austin has been appropriated all the way out to 24 out there, but, you know, it's still sitting there like it was, 4 or 5 years ago now, since COVID hit, or when they got on last time, so it ain't went nowhere, so, and that money's been allocated, so it's a matter of TDOT doing their thing, and all I can do is ask, because we don't control them, no by no means, but I will ask them, I promise you.
All right, thank you. All right, this question, John, Keith, and Bubba, in that order. What is your philosophy on property taxes and county spending? If revenues fall short, would you prioritize budget cuts or tax increases? And what areas of the county budget do you believe need reform or closer oversight?
Yeah, I believe you're doing anything we can do to prevent a tax increase for residents. I think that we can accomplish that through, again, impact fees, what Keith had mentioned, adequate facilities taxes. We can make a lot of changes with that. And I do believe in a government that, again, all of our households, we have to operate within a budget. We have to, a lot of us unfortunately can't just snap our fingers and raise our income. So the county and any government needs to function the same way. We need to work on and become, you know, more lean in anything that we do. I think that's the biggest thing, is just making sure that our government is running lean in what we do. And that's one thing I look forward to, is really getting in depth and looking at everything that we have fat. I mean, every government has fat somewhere, and looking at that and trimming it, and to make sure that, again, that we are not putting the tax burden on the people of Robertson County. That's one of my first and foremost goals.
Well, I did it for 7 years, and the way I looked at the budget is wants and needs. What do you have to have? Is it a want or a need? And we've set many a years, sitting $3 million out, and thinking the easiest way would be to raise property taxes. But for 7 years, we didn't raise property taxes. We found a way to make it work. And that's what I can promise to Robertson County is I've been there, I've done it, and I'll continue to do it. Thank you.
Been there 16 years and seeing all the stuff that's come in front of us that we've had to vote on, some of the stuff we've had to turn down, it becomes a hard decision sometimes to what's best for the county. And if you see best is not raising taxes at that time, then that's, if everybody's going through hard enough times, I mean, they can't keep putting it on them. So we got to look at the people too, you know. So I would look at I would turn every leaf we could over, find every cent we could to keep from doing that. And then if it come down to it, then tax hike would be the last resort. And that's where it would be on the last resort. And I hope it never comes to that. Thank y'all.
All right. Next question, Bubba, John, and Keith, in that order. What do you believe is the biggest challenge Robertson County will face in the next 10 years? And what distinguishes your leadership style from your opponents?
In the next 10 years, it's going to be growth in schools and everything we've talked about. Unless we just build a wall plumb around Robertson County and have the kids fixed when they're born, we're not going to stop the growth whatsoever. So they're going to come regardless. Our kids are going to have kids, grandkids are going to have kids. So the growth is going to be the biggest issue, and everybody's trying to come this way to build, since, like I said, we sit between the two cities and the two interstates. So growth is our big priority, and that's one thing we got. Then following growth, we got to follow schools, because schools, we got to educate them. So we got to keep our schools up to par. We got to get our schools up to par, for one thing. Then we got to keep them up to par. And my leadership, I'm just better than they are.
Repeat the question one more time.
Yes. What do you believe the biggest challenge Robertson County will face in the next 10 years, and what distinguishes your leadership style from your opponents?
I mean, I think we've heard it echo time and time again. Growth is going to be our biggest thing that we've got to get our hands around. It impacts everything from our schools to our fiscal budget to everything else. So it's growth, and we've got to manage it. And I think that honestly, every decision is an important decision, because if we get growth wrong, it turns people anti-growth, and I don't think that that's healthy as well. And so I think it's that balance of making sure that we've got our schools coming. I mean, right now we need 2 to 3 new schools. The last school that was built in Robertson County was 2015. The last school that was built in White House was 2010. So we've got to make sure that we're getting ahead of things and we're not being reactive. We need to be proactive, and that's what I've done as a city mayor. I have to be hands-on. I have to be hands-on with our budget. I have to be hands-on with our issues. I have to be hands-on with growth, and sitting down and doing the homework every single day of how to tackle growth and to keep Robertson County, the Robertson County that we know and love, and it's precious, make sure that we keep that for the future generations.
Well, we know growth is the biggest issue, but with growth comes schools, and we know right now, today, we probably need 2 schools in the county. We have land for 1 in White House for a middle school. We're probably talking $40 to $50 million to build that school. We know Springfield needs a middle school. That's probably another 40 to 50 without land cost. So growth brings on the schools, and the schools are going to be one of our largest expenses we're going to see in the next 5 to 10 years. And we're going to have to make sure we manage it. We're going to have to make sure the enrollment numbers call for a new school. And if they do, we're going to have to find a way to do it without burdening the taxpayers.
All right, this question will be answered by Keith, Bubba, and John in that order. The White House area has become a key economic gateway between Nashville and southern Kentucky. How would you leverage that location to attract high-quality employers rather than primarily residential development?
Well, I think Robertson County has a very strong economic development board, and I think they've already got some projects working here. I know they've got some land set aside for jobs, but we need quality, high-paying jobs, and I think that they're working on that now. And as mayor, I will make sure they have everything they need to continue to attract those high-paying jobs.
I will say that we got some mighty low-paying jobs, in my opinion. We paying people that can't even make a living in Robertson County, and I'm sure Sumner County's following suit. But what all we can do is go out and, like you said, depend on the economic board to try and bring in the businesses and the type of structures that will pay. Some of the counties don't want some of these places that use a lot of water, and because they don't want to put a strain on their water system, because the water system is getting a strain as it is. So the type of jobs that reach out there, especially with IA coming, being apart the way they are, who knows what's going to be high paying in this town in 5 years from now? Because computer jobs, in my opinion, is going to fade away a little bit. And I hate to say it that way, but what are we going to take, and what's it going to take to bring them in here in 5, 10 years? What is going to be the high-paying job in 5 to 10 years? I'm sorry.
I mean, White House has all the potential in the world for economic development. You've got a new business park that's going in on Union Road, which is, I'm hoping is going to, like Bubba mentioned, bring in some high-quality paying jobs to Robertson County. And I think just success, bringing in industry, bringing in commercial, that offsets a lot of your residential growth. For every $1 that a revenue of residential growth, it costs $1.06 to offset that. It's a net negative. And so it's important to bring in your commercial and your industrial coupled with your agriculture. That's actually what swings your surplus budget the other way. So we need to balance that. That's something we need to focus on. Again, quality jobs. I think that's what we need in Robertson County. I think it's something like 60% of people leave Robertson County to go to work. I mean, how amazing would it be to keep those folks here to where they can grow and succeed and have high-paying jobs for our children in the future?
All right, this is our final question, and we'll answer with Bubba, John, and Keith. What is one specific action you would take in your first 100 days that does not require state legislation or county commission vote?
In my first 100 days, I want to say my biggest priority would be to get all of our departments and department heads working on the same page. Like I say, having a meeting with them, having a meeting with all of them instead of just one-on-one. That's something we can do. We don't have to bring the commissioners in for. If commissioners wants to come to it, that's fine. If they don't, It's up to them. But I would like to make sure that the county's run on a smooth operation from week to week, and that way everybody knows whatever department has got kind of going on, because if that way, if somebody needs to reach out and help them, we can do it. If somebody's running shorthanded, we can do it. If I feel that, and that wouldn't cost us a dime other than just being there. Does that make sense? So if you can show up and tell us what you need, maybe we can put together a plan and get it for you. And if we can do that all year long instead of just waiting the time for the budget, then that will help a whole lot come near time to plan the budget. I'm sorry. She's tricking me.
Yeah, my first 100 days, I'm looking at a matter of months. The first thing I want to do is I want to go to our 2040 growth plan. In our 2040 growth plan, outside of your general urban areas is your suburban, which encompasses most of outside of your cities. It's time that we shut that down as far as what it's in the growth plan. It shows that it's predominantly low density. Right now you can approve anything from medium density to high density. I would like to shut that loophole down and make it to where, again, as we grow out, we can have transect planning to where you have a city, it slowly grows out and gets less dense as you bump up against your rural areas. I think that'll kind of decrease some of that land use fragmentation and hopefully preserve agriculture a little bit more. I would also like to go in there, and I feel like with the growth plan that we may be using it a little bit too much in some areas. Right now we're shutting down out in the country, somebody just wants a 1 acre lot or two. We're shutting those down. I think that's maybe a little bit of an overreach. And I think, again, getting a group of small farmers or mid-sized farmers together to really sit down and figure out what we need to do to preserve agriculture in the future.
My first 100 days, we've got a couple of things that we really need to take a look at, but one of them is a grant writer for Robertson County. We're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars out there without not having a grant writer. But the most important thing is we need a fire coordinator in Robertson County. We've got volunteer fire departments with ISO ratings of 10, which is virtually not having a fire department. And that's unacceptable for Robertson County. We've got to do better and be better. And so my first 100 days, that will be the one piece of legislation I want to get done.
All right. Okay, so we have 1 minute each for closing remarks. We'll start with John.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm a kid from two blue collar folks. Mom worked in retail all her life. Dad was public works, did construction and poured concrete. And having the ability and the honor to run to be your Robertson County mayor has been one of the greatest experiences of my entire life. And so, however it ends, it has been the greatest pleasure. And if I ask for your vote, because I'm going to go into work for you every single day and bust my tail, because you are important. The future of our county is important, and I'm going to work every day for you and making sure that we keep the Robertson County that we know and love, that we keep the Robertson County that's minutes from Nashville and miles from Morgan. Thank you.
Keith.
That's my diabetic.
In closing, I just want to say that thanks for having me, for one. And I've worked under two county mayors, Howard Bradley and Billy Vogel, and I've worked closely with them on budgets, and I've learned both their styles. And I feel like that gives me a great leg up in this, and I feel like I can walk in from day one, and Robertson County will be ran exactly like it's ran today. And we live in a great county, and I think there's not much that needs to be changed. Can we fine-tune a few things? Sure, absolutely. But overall, we live in one of the greatest counties in the state of Tennessee. Thank you.
I'll agree. We do live in my opinion, the best county in Tennessee. I've been here 61 years. I got a birthday in July, in case y'all need to know. But I will tell y'all that out of the 61 years, I've started 3 businesses. I've been able to sell them at a good time. I feel that running a business is one of the things that I've learned a lot on, and I feel that that's where we need some guideline. I worked at Electrolux for 10 years on the side as HR safety. So I've got a little bit of lead in that way too. As far as the county, I love it. I'll give anything I can to help do for it. I've never left it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm happy here and I plan on staying here. So with that being said, I even like my wife. She's good. She's good to me too. That's all.
Thank you all. Oh, sorry.
No, that's all.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you all for participating. We really appreciate it. Thank you for staying within the rules, because sometimes in forums like this, that doesn't always take place. And you guys certainly did that. So how about a round of applause for
I just dropped the mic.
and also for all of the candidates who introduced themselves today. So another round of applause for them.